America is dying. Our nation has one of the highest obesity rates in the entire world. There are many factors that lead to this obesity rate. A lot of them can be controlled, while there are a few uncontrollable ones. And a person with a BMI of 30 or more is what's considered overweight. If you take a look at figure 1, it is a BMI chart, and the orange here is all the BMIs that are overweight. Your BMI is your body mass index, and it's based on your height and weight, which you'll see over in these columns here. And this report's going to cover 4 topics: the factors that contribute to obesity, statistics on obesity, problems caused by obesity, and some health experts look at obesity. And this report will conclude by recognizing the ongoing problem of obesity and recommending ways the nation can decrease it. Starting with some factors that contribute to obesity. Like I said earlier, there are multiple factors that contribute. I'm going to start by talking about school and work factors. A study was conducted of 1,000 sixth graders in Michigan, and those who regularly ate school lunches were 29% more likely to become obese than those who brought lunch from home. On the other hand, some kids might despise school lunches so much that they just choose not to eat, which is really bad for your metabolism and can lead to a poor diet, which can lead to obesity. There's also limited time in school and work. School and work can be 8 hours, 9 hours a day. So by the time children and adults get home, they're tired. They don't have enough time to do physical activity, and this is becoming also another problem because they just feel like they don't have enough time, and they just cannot get that time for the physical activity in. Another factor is technology. Nowadays, technology is everywhere. Kids are on cell phones, kids are on computers. It's pretty much taken over the nation. Ages ranging from, their tweens to their elders, have the newest up-to-date technology. And yeah, that's great. Technology is awesome, but it's also taking away from time to be physical. Kids, instead of being outside playing with friends, they're inside on their phones. This decrease in physical activity is definitely a major factor in the increase in obesity lately. Another factor is family upbringing. Every family has different values and different morals. The way a child is reared by their parents has a great impact on the way the child will live throughout the rest of their lives. So if, as a parent, you don't teach your child how to live healthy and to have a healthy lifestyle, that's going to greatly impact their lifestyle in the future. And studies have shown that also children with parents that are obese are a lot more likely to become obese themselves because they are brought up in the way that their parents are bringing them up, which is leading to their obesity. And the last factor, which is the most controllable factor, is laziness. We have our lazy moments, we all do, but a lot of obese people, they can easily start a diet, go on something prescribed by doctors, but they just choose not to. They choose to ignore the fact that they're pretty much, killing themselves by being obese and not doing anything about it. So this is one of the most controllable factors, and if we just put a little bit more effort into it, we can definitely decrease the rate of obesity. Some statistics on obesity. The national obesity average is 13%, and our nation average is 30%, which is 17% higher than the worldwide average, which is not very good at all. And America has been shown in studies to be higher in all categories, as far as we're higher in women that are obese, men that are obese, children, and infants that are obese. We have a lot more higher rates in the world. In our country, 70% of men are obese and 61% of women are overweight or obese. And in the whole world, it's 38% of men and only 36% of women. So we are definitely higher than the globe. And if you take a look at figure 2, it shows the percent of people in each nation that are overweight, which have a BMI over 30. And you see United States is at the very end with the highest. These are very frightening statistics that should really, wake up America and motivate them to work towards a healthier population. Moving on to some problems that cause obesity. A problem is definitely health issues. Obesity causes multiple health issues. As your BMI rises, your risk for tons of problems rises as well. We have stroke, heart attacks, diabetes, high blood pressure, in some cases death. And if you take a look at figure 3, it shows some different complications that happen from obesity, some that you wouldn't even think of, but they do happen. It is very possible to happen. So these are conditions that can be worsened by obesity, and many of them are very severe. Another problem is social issues. A lot of children who are obese are often made fun of for the way they look while they're growing up and going throughout school. Bullying someone who's obese can be, the child can become very depressed, which could turn into becoming even more obese, which could lead to even more problems. Although it is more likely in children and teens, adults can also be made fun of too for being obese. Studies have shown that someone who is obese is a lot less likely to get a job than someone who is not. It's a very sad statistic. That's how our world works, but it definitely happens. Moving on to some experts to look on obesity. Researchers and doctors are continuously coming up with new methods of weight loss. The methods differ from person to person on whether they work or not, but there usually is something out there for you. Many say that it's not healthy for the body or it's not effective if you go on certain diets. But if you just see a doctor, consult somebody, a dietitian, you can get help. You can get, on a plan, on a regimen to really help decrease your obesity rate. In conclusion, obesity is a very huge problem in America, yet many people neglect to acknowledge it. There are various ways that our nation can decrease this rate, but many people choose to ignore them. If we stay on the path that we're on, forecasts suggest that by the year 2030, 51% of our nation will be obese. That is over half our citizens, which would definitely greatly affect our nation. Healthcare costs would rise, death rates would rise. It would just not be good at all. Citizens around the nation should be very concerned about these statistics. People need to be more aware of the effects of obesity and what can happen if they become obese. In order to achieve healthier lifestyles, the nation needs to consider some very easy, some very simple recommendations, like to strive making school lunches healthier, so kids will either eat them or they'll bring home lunches from home that are healthy. Involve more physical activity in child's days, even adults too. You need physical activity to keep your weight down. Limit technology usage within families. Families, should have a period of time, just a few hours a day, maybe even 1 hour, to just turn off phones, go do something active, go outside, just do something that you're not usually doing because you're constantly on your phone or on the computer watching TV. All levels of government, whether it's state, federal, local, can, offer to educate people on healthy lifestyles. There are people out there that want to learn more and answer any questions they may have, and possibly cut, there's been talk about cutting school and work hours shorter so that people have more time for physical activity, and that is also an option. Our nation just really needs to strive to learn all they can about obesity, how it's brought on, and how they can stop it before it's too late.